All right. So hello, everyone, and welcome to another Evolve Expert session. Today's guest is someone I followed for a while, not because she's loud and her content is amazing, but because she's consistently ahead. So Carmen Muley is the founder of Paragon Social, a certified TikTok shop partner and one of the first Europeans to go deep into live commerce while living in China. Actually, back from China now. She's been building in this space since 2016, long before the trend charts or hype cycles. Her work bridges continents, cultures, and commerce models. Today, we go beyond the noise and into strategy: what's working, what's broken, and what's next. I want to thank Airmeet for making this possible. And Carmen, we always start with a controversial question. And for you, the controversial question is: many people in Europe still think live commerce is overhyped, a TikTok fueled flash trend. You've seen this model succeed in China, struggle in the US, and now grow fast in Spain. So be honest. Is live commerce the future of shopping or just another cool for now channel brands will abandon in a year?
So what I have to say about this is that everyone that thinks that this is a myth, they are wrong because live shopping, social commerce are the next big thing. We are actually seeing it now in many places. It is slow because the market needs to adapt and the audiences need to learn how to work in this space. But in China, they've been doing it for over 10 years now. And we are getting there in the US. It's been live for about a year. And now here in Spain, for example, TikTok Shop has been live for a few months only. And we see how things are evolving. Now, what we see online is that consumers want to connect with the brands and they want to see what's behind the scenes. And you can only do that through live social commerce. So whoever thinks that this is just a flop, I can say that they're wrong.
Brilliant. Carmen, you started your career as a model. I think the first time we spoke was around maybe 7, 8 months ago. And you told me a little bit about your career. You lived in China and so on. And so now you're running a company that helps brands scale through live commerce and TikTok. So, what did that transition teach you about reinvention, risk, and reading the market before it's obvious?
So, as you mentioned, I lived in China for 7 years, and I went there to study first. I did my master's in corporate management, and I was working there like different jobs. For example, modeling was one of them. I was also a live streamer for a
Mhm.
Chinese TV, and so that was even before live shopping per se. It was just live streaming, and we had a model that was similar to what is right now TikTok Live, in which you can only do donations and stuff like that. So as of today, I've been live streamer, so that's the creator. I've been a brand because I launched my own e-commerce brand as well in the live shopping. Um, I've been an agency, which is what I do right now. And actually, I was an agency before as well in 2022 when TikTok Shop first launched in the UK. And then I also developed software as a service. I was the first live shopping marketplace here in Spain that we're not running anymore. So I'm back to the agency side. So basically, I've seen all the different angles of live shopping and social commerce. And at this stage, I still see that many brands don't quite understand the concept or the things that they need to like actually go live and to, you know, make those sales and engage the consumers.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, I'm very bullish on live commerce. Just I'll share a post I've done maybe 2, 3 months ago. It wasn't really live commerce at the time, but it was kind of like QVC. Like my father he sells shirts and dress shirts. He's a manufacturer. So back in the 90s, you had this show on in Brazil called Shop Tour, and basically you as the owner of a brand, they would record you, or they would go live with you. The cameras, the TV would just, start live, and you had to be very creative then to drive traffic and food store. So before the internet, and so I'm very bullish in that. But the question more is like, what do you think brands they get wrong when they think about live commerce in Europe? What do you see? What are the misconceptions? What do you think they don't
So what
understand?
I Yeah, so what I've seen a lot is that brands think that they just go live and that is it. Like just
Mhm.
press live and then you're going to make a ton of sales. And actually, you need to have a strategy to make sure that you drive the traffic, that you drive the interest, that you engage the audience, and that you actually offer something special for them so that they want to buy it now. And many brands just don't think about it. They're just like, okay, I'm going to go live and I expect to convert, or I'm going to go live. I don't have any strategy. I'm just going to talk about my product. And the thing is that users, they're not always ready to just hear about your product. They want to know more things. For example, well, if you're doing live shopping on your e-commerce website, there is already like a shopping intent, or like users already know about you, about your products, and they're more prone to buy. But if you're in platforms like TikTok Shop, for example, TikTok Shop
Mhm.
is a discovery platform. So probably they
Mhm.
haven't even heard about you before. You cannot expect whoever goes into your live stream to purchase directly if they don't know anything about you, and if you're not giving them anything special for them to actually make the transaction there. So yeah, I would say that this is something that brands get wrong all the time, just thinking that because they're going live they're going to sell, or because they're talking about the benefits of the product they're going to convert. It's not the case.
Mhm. I want to go back to your, let's call it, origin story. So you were in China for you mentioned 7 years, right? 7 years.
Right.
Yes. And then you moved back to Spain. And after, I mean, I'm an international in Denmark. We have in our communities a very interesting trait that we have very various kinds of international people. So you have second generation people that are in a country. You have, for example, Nicola from Serbia, spent almost 20 years in the US. We have Talis from Brazil living in Spain, and you both actually have to connect. Um, I'm curious to understand, after years abroad, what surprised you the most about coming home, culturally, professionally, or even personally? And yeah.
It's actually been really hard for me to come back home, like the because like I did not come back because I wanted to, but more because life brought me back. So
Mhm.
it was not a decision that I made, and I think it was very shocking, like to suddenly find myself back in Spain. Like, oh my god, I had never planned this, right? And for me, it was really hard to kind of adapt to like life being slower, to like ideas taking a lot of time to actually be implemented, or like like when I came back and I saw that many stores are closed on a Sunday, I was like,
Mhm.
how is it possible that everything is closed on a Sunday, which is the day that everyone has time off to like actually go out and then they can purchase things. I don't know. There were so many things that I was thinking like, wow, China is so different, and like the way people do things there and the way people live there is so different. And after 7 years, I was like, wow.
Mhm. Mhm. It's very interesting. I don't. I mean, I think, of course, I could readapt to Brazil, but it would be. I go to Brazil often, but living there, it's a very different thing from living in Denmark. So I think it
Also,
takes also time,
yeah,
right? To.
exactly. And also in terms of working, the way that
Hmm.
people do business is actually very different. The
Hmm.
way people do business in Spain or in the UK and in China, it has nothing to do. Also, the
Hmm.
way that people make decisions. I would say in China, like people don't make decisions like straight away. And here in Europe, depending on when or where you're doing business, people are like very straightforward, which is something that I actually enjoy. But here in Spain, it's like, oh yeah, well, maybe no. And it kind of takes a long time until you
Mhm.
finally like close something.
Mhm. What would you say it's an important Chinese trait, and why do you think live commerce has become so important for them, so prevalent in the way they do business? Because what I admire about them, I can tell you, is like they are aggressive. They it's you know, they are real executors, and I think in Europe, and I've done a video the other day about it. I think it's almost criminal if you dream big, and if you're, you know, like it feels like that. Like people are very judgmental. There are multiple cultures and so on. The Chinese, they have a very interesting work ethics. They execute, you know, and they work, right. So that's my opinion. But I would like to know your take from the live commerce perspective and why it works there.
So I would say the mindset is different. That's the first thing. Chinese people just go and try things out. And if it works, they continue pushing it. And if it doesn't, then they just move it aside. In this case, they have tried live shopping. They've been doing it for a long, long time. And they have understood what are the triggers that make people purchase, what are consumers looking for. The thing is that um, here in Europe, we see all that as very aggressive. Like, oh no, people don't want to be sold to. But actually, people are looking for that offer. They're looking for just entertainment. And what Chinese understand is that if you put an offer with entertainment together, they're going to end up buying. Maybe not right now in the live stream, maybe
Mhm.
later. But if you do it right, they will purchase right here, right now. So that's something that Chinese have been mastering. If you check out the Chinese live streams, they're of another world right now. Like they have models, they have crazy ideas that are pure entertainment, and they're just placing the product in there, and they're like obviously giving those offers, that unbeatable offers, so that the consumer can buy now. We're not seeing that in Europe. Brands are a little bit skeptical. They are concerned about how the brand is going to look like. They are concerned about how this is going to affect um, the positioning of the brand. And I think they're just missing the point. They're not tapping into the right strategies, because I mention about this all the time. You don't always need to be offering discounts. Maybe you can come up with a specific collection or with something that's limited edition. And if you're only offering it at that live stream, people are going to want it anyway because it's exclusive, because you're giving them something different. So the mindset in China and the mindset in Europe or the West is different. What I like is what you mentioned. Chinese people, they just go and try and they do it and execute and try again, and then they measure and they say, okay, this is working, so we're gonna do it again, and we're gonna do it better. We're gonna double down on this, and we improve as we go. But here's like, oh no, everything needs to be perfect. Everything needs to be like measured even before we start, and then we'll see. And I think that's also what's making the market very slow. That brands want to have everything under control without even knowing if they're executing it right.
It's I couldn't agree more. There's a Chinese creator. I think he became very famous on now on YouTube Shorts, and YouTube Shorts also is like a rabbit hole. You start consuming, and you know, you just get addicted to that thing. But it's it's this guy who's selling light LED lights, and he became very famous because he's impersonating Donald Trump, and he's against the woke culture. So it's very interesting because what he's doing is using humor, and then he's placing the product in a very funny. Have you seen this guy? In a very funny way, and apparently, like the company now is exploding, like, and they're selling cross borders, which is very interesting, from China, the straight to your door. So um that's the thing. I mean, it's more like about
It's an
the
entertainment and
story you're gonna
company.
tell.
Yes.
Exactly, right? So you discover a product, you kind of like fall in love with that character, and you eventually buy whatever. So I'm curious to ask you about, now talking more about the business aspect and Paragon, what you guys do, but from a TikTok in Spain is growing according to GPT and everything that I researched, faster than the UK. So 19 million users and projected 500 million euros in a year in terms of revenue coming from TikTok Shop. Why do you think is Spain leading this wave, and what are the other markets overlooking when they try to follow?
Um, Actually, it's not that I can give you a very precise answer for this, but I think it's because of the type of audience. Like Mediterranean people, they're more like
Mhm.
curious, they're prone to try conversations. Like I have a client and she goes live very often, and she has lots of people just asking her questions about herself and about the things that she sells, and they're willing to have that conversation. And I always say that after conversation is when conversion comes. So I think that is why it is working here better, because people are more curious, they want to know more. So once they create that connection with the seller, they're more like open to buy. And we're seeing lots of small businesses here in Spain
Mhm.
do that. And it's usually either the founder or like a shop assistant that's on the live stream. So they can actually build those connections. And as I said, connection builds conversion.
Yeah, but Carmen, your agency is mostly special. You decided to go mostly the like you mentioned live shopping, but also there's a very strong TikTok component. So you're going more towards TikTok, specializing in TikTok. Is it?
So we're an agency that does live shopping, social commerce, and TikTok shop. The live shopping components comes because I have done it myself. So I know like all the steps that you need to follow um, to actually convert a live streaming. And social commerce and TikTok shop is something that I've been involved in since the very early days as well. As I mentioned, in 2022, I was one of the agencies that was TikTok shop partner in the UK. And now Paragon is it's an official partner agency in the UK and in Spain as well. So now we have a really strong focus on TikTok shop because we see that it is pushing a lot. But social commerce is basically selling on socials. So if you want to sell, for example, on Instagram or Meta, we can help you with that as well through paid media. But then the thing is that TikTok Shop has its own ecosystem where you're working with paid media, you're working with content creation, you're working with creators and affiliates, you're doing live shopping. So everything is condensed into the TikTok ecosystem.
Tell me a bit about this ecosystem. I'm really interested in Evolve is an ecosystem. That's what we are, of professionals in the world of commerce, and a very international aspect to it. Um, I would like to explore the ecosystem aspect of your business because I believe sometimes this ecosystem exists, but sometimes it's scattered. It's like you have the creators, you have agencies, and so on. So you need to kind of like create a category that sometimes it doesn't exist. That's what we are very bullish with Evolve, and like I don't think there are many communities doing things the way we want to do. But in your line of business and in your world, what's your ecosystem like? What are the pieces that need to fall together? And
So to actually make TikTok Shop work, you need to make sure that you as a brand have good content, quality
Mhm.
content that connects with the audience. So you need to make sure that you are like working on your profile, that you're gaining views, that you're gaining followers. And that's kind of the first step to make sure that you're going to sell. If you're able to sell organically on TikTok Shop, And when you push it with affiliates or with paid media or live streaming, it's for sure going to work. So the first part of that ecosystem is creating your profile and creating good content. Then you have affiliates, as I mentioned. One issue that we're finding here in Spain at the moment is that many creators, they're UGC creators, and they don't quite understand yet what being an affiliate means. So we are educating the audience as well, like the consumers and creators, on what being an affiliate is like. So it's like you're going to receive a product from a brand and you're going to promote it through your videos, and then you are going to get paid a commission if you sell the product. Now, there are many ways in which affiliates can make money, but here in Spain, for example, they still don't know how it works. So that's the affiliate ecosystem within TikTok as well. Then we have paid media. If we see that a content is working well, either organic content from the brand or from the affiliate, you can push it, and that's going to bring you even more sales and more followers. And the same thing for the live streams. If you're going to go live, you can push it as well with paid media before, so that you can drive the traffic. And then finally, we have the live shopping part, in which we have a live seller that's going live, that's selling the product, that's explaining so the offer or whatever it is that you have at that point. But yeah, on TikTok Shop, basically what we're trying to do is like bring all that together. And
Mhm.
in Paragon, we have the Chinese model, which is a 360 model. Not every agency taps into all these different things. Some agencies just specialize on paid media. Some agencies specialize on affiliates. Some others just on shop management. But at Paragon, what we do is that if a brand comes to us and they're like, Carmen, I have no idea what I need to do. I just know I want to launch on TikTok Shop and I want to be doing social commerce. What do I do? Like, what are the steps that I need to take? And we work with that brand to develop the whole strategy and all those different parts, and to like put them together. So as an agency as well, because we are a TikTok Shop partner on the shop side, on the creator side, we are directly connected to TikTok Shop, to their team, and so we have support that other agencies may not have because they don't have the partnership.
Mhm. So in order to have an ecosystem in your world, let's call it this way, you need to have brands, and brands with good content that are willing to experiment things. You need creators, and these creators can be the founders, or creators out there. You need the affiliates, and then agencies and paid media specialists. Is that it?
Exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
It's a little bit complex because it has too
Mhm.
many pieces.
Yeah. Oh, she dropped. Uh, for some reason, she dropped. Maybe battery. Let's see. Or she went to the backstage. Gustavo. Yeah. Let's see. So she just dropped, everyone. Probably gonna be back in a bit. But in the meantime, if anyone wants to join me, you're most welcome. Gustavo, my loyal partner. Thanks, Gustavo. I'm gonna write Carmen here. Um, don't know why she dropped.
Yeah, hello, everyone. Yeah, just say that she's not in the backstage. Something happened, but okay.
Oh,
Yeah, so let's see here. Yes, we have a question from Luis that uh, we'll bring it to her when she comes back. Let's see.
perfect. I think the other point, Gustavo, just to make some conversation, but to make it on
Yep.
point, we interviewed Justin Wilhite, who's the head of
Yeah.
the whole the creators at Twitch, and this is something maybe to ask Carmen as well, in terms of if you have to be. I mean, if you're a creator, you're a creator. You can create on Twitch, different platforms, but I think it could be interesting for them to have a chat, and eventually even a podcast here, right? To speak about the different
Hmm.
platforms even monetization
Yeah.
models there. It was a very interesting conversation we had.
Yeah, well, I was listening the conversation, and I just thought the same. That would be a great conversation for both of them,
Mm-hmm.
because yes, we'll have like two different views in terms of platforms, and yet, and also in terms of culture, of how they see the different experiences. This would be really interesting.
She said she had a
Because
problem with the
then,
link. Don't know why.
mhm.
Let me just
Can you send it
don't know.
again?
It's weird. Yeah,
I s-
yeah. I sent it. I'm gonna call her.
okay, everyone. So, does anyone have any other question? We have one from Luis here in the Q&As, but you can also send questions and comments here in our chat, and we can bring that to Carmen when she's back, or we can just talk about uh, this
She's
question
back,
here. Yes,
I guess.
just one moment. Oh, great. Okay. So yeah, let me find here.
Uh, should be
I don't
back.
know why she's not here, but just one moment.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's turn her into a speaker. Don't know what happened. Just yeah. Invite as a
Yeah,
speaker. Inviting you to be a speaker. So
Okay.
yeah. All right. So
great.
uh, cool. So
Bye.
right. So
Oh,
she dropped again.
no, no, she's at backstage. Moment.
Perfect. All right. So
Hey,
Carmen,
I'm back.
no worries. With Carmen, we were talking because um we brought in few like I think 2 months ago, a month ago, 2 months ago roughly, the head of creators at Twitch, which is another platform, and he's someone you guys have to talk about because he was talking about more like the challenges that creators they have to monetize their work, right? Because everybody wants to create a brand deal and give them freebies and bullshit, but people need to make money. So, um, and the thing is, like, he has a lot of knowledge, and when you're a creator and a brand, for example, he was explaining, okay, if you're a brand, maybe you can tell the creator you're gonna pay for his job, but you want to use the rights of his image for such and such. So there were so many golden nuggets that he shared with us in that session, and we were talking about the ecosystem that has to be developed in your business. And so I think what I'm really curious to ask you is more like um, the profile of creators that are on TikTok and that you work today, your agency are working today. If it's a pain for founders and for companies, executives to find creators, because you need to source them. They need to kind of like yeah, to have some sort of alignment with the brand and brand values. And how's that process like? Luis has a question I'll ask you soon, but yeah, if you could.
Yeah, so within TikTok Shop, we have the affiliate marketplace, so we can actually filter creators. But obviously, there is a work that needs to be done. We need to go and check the profile. We need to see what kind of content they're creating. We need to see if it's performing or not. We also need to develop a specific strategy because not every creator serves the same purpose. Like some of them will be good for brand awareness, some of them will be good for conversion, and some of them will just be useless and really help you move the needle or go anywhere. So it's hard to find the right creators, and you need to think well what it is that you want to achieve with each creator. And also it's good if you manage to create like a group with a mix of creators. Let's say some creators that have a broader audience, that are able to reach with their videos a lot more people, and then smaller creators that have a really, really engaged community, because those smaller creators are often the ones that make the more sales. So you need to like filter those creators and know, okay, these type of creators, they're just going to bring more views to my products, and these other creators have more possibilities to convert. So what do you want as a brand? Do you want views, or do you want sales, or do you want both, and when do you want each of those things? And depending on that, then you need to craft the strategy. But the thing is that also, when you work with creators in TikTok Shop, you can send them a sample, and the creator usually has 14 days to create the content. But the best is to actually be able to have a discussion with the creator and say like, hey, we're doing this and this and this, we're doing it this way and this way, and it would be great if you could post at this time. Because otherwise, like, you want the content to go out all together, so that TikTok understand that your product or your brand are trending, or they're viral, or they're interesting. So that's going to help you more as well as a brand to like create that, um, let's say, virality within the platform.
Mhm. I think what you the topic or this challenge that you're mentioning is quite interesting, because there's a guy in Brazil. He's I haven't heard of many companies doing that. What he's doing, it's a company called Brand Lovers. Not sure if you heard of it, but
No.
they're trying to tackle that very issue you just mentioned. So there's the demand side, so brands who want to hire creators. So they're partnering with, now I think they have over 250,000 creators, and they can do matches through the platform, and the algorithm kind of like predicts how much that the influence that that creator has, and how much they should be monetized. So there's a kind of like a race there, and he's one of the few ones. Is very interesting what they're doing, being backed by some um, relevant investors there. And we have a guy in our community who's connected with him, because he's also an investor in his business. So I'll connect you with Danielle, because I think it's a very interesting topic. That's probably one of the things of finding
The
creator,
right creators,
the
yes.
right creator, right, and have that mix.
And also, as I mentioned, like, there are many UGC creators, so they expect to get paid for the content that
Mm-hmm.
they create. And then also on the brand side, it's like, I need to send a sample to this creator, which I'm not sure is going to perform. So that means that I am investing on something that I'm not sure
Mm-hmm.
what kind of return I'm going to get. So it can get complicated for both sides, and we need to figure out what is the like, how we're going to negotiate, what is the deal. As I said, if you are a TikTok Shop creator and you receive a sample from the brand, you should create at least one piece of content. But on the brand side, maybe just one piece of content and not being able to do anything else with it, it's just not enough. So at Paragon, usually what we do is, well, first of all, we have a pool of creators that we're working with constantly. So we are developing those relationships, and then when we get brands that want to like work with us, we manage to get some more content for those brands, and I think that's a better deal at the end of the day. And also we're training them as well on how to create
Mm-hmm.
videos that sell, how to get those views and stuff. Um, but yeah, it can be challenging, and there are times in which creators do not respond well. There are times in which creators don't understand that brands need content as well. And some other times what we do is that we ask them for the ad code so that we can promote the content. And if they're making sales and we promote the content, they also get commission for the sales that are made through the content that they created. So that's a positive thing. But we need to explain all these things to the creators because they still don't understand how it works.
Brilliant. Carmen, we are on 35 now, so I won't even get into AI and all of that. But yes, we have engagement here from our community. So the question is from Luis and Miguel. Could you share the conversion rate for the live commerce channel?
So it actually depends, but there are some live streamings that are converting up to 30%, which is a lot, especially if you compare it to the conversion rate of an any e-commerce website that is into 1 to 2%.
Brilliant. 1 to 2%. Thank you.
No.
It,
Up to 30% for live
up to-
shopping.
Perfect. Pardon.
Yeah. So if
30%.
you compare it to an e-commerce website,
Yeah, absolutely.
an e-commerce website is 1 to 2, but live shopping is up to 30%. It can go up to 30%.
Yeah, I think any conversational platform, conversational platforms, I've seen WhatsApp sales are going to perform more than self-serving websites, live commerce for sure, right? So
Just
super bullish. Yeah.
and anything that helps with connection now, because like a user goes to an e-commerce website and they just see a catalog and scroll through a catalog that doesn't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
It's not compelling anymore. Users are not there anymore. They want more.
Brilliant. Hey everyone, if you, instead of sending the questions here in the chat, if you want to join us, that's what we always do. I think it's always nicer, and you have an opportunity to have a FaceTime with Carmen. So Gustavo, let me know if there's anyone. No? Okay. Do you have a few examples of e-commerce sites that are currently using live commerce on their sites, or is it only TikTok?
So, for example, Lush Cosmetics have done live shopping. IKEA have done live shopping. Decathlon as well. So there are quite a few brands that are doing live shopping on their own website.
Brilliant. Any other questions, Gustavo? Let me see. Do you think that live commerce is culture and generation? For example, I don't have TikTok, but my 12-year-old daughter is all about TikTok, but she doesn't have buying power yet to purchase live. What can you share about that?
So I do not think it is cultural and generational, because what we're seeing here in Spain, for example, is that there are many users that are over 35 that are tapping into live shopping and making purchases into live shopping. So maybe your daughter doesn't have a purchasing power right now, but she will at some point. So she's already getting educated into the live shopping uh, live shopping evolution, so to say. And the thing is that for the older generations, it's still something that's very new and it may be a little bit more complex. But if they know about the brand or if they're interested in the product, I do see that the audience is going into live shopping. And it's not only on TikTok Shop or on the website. There are many brands that are doing live streaming, for example, on Instagram, even though it's not considered live shopping per se. But they can still purchase through links or through bots, and and they're finalizing the purchase. So I would not say it is, as I mentioned, a generational thing. It is a new way of purchasing. It is just where e-commerce is headed.
Okay, great. So, Nicola, can you open your mic and camera? And Hello, Nicola.
Hello.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, sorry. Still familiarizing myself with the tool.
No problem. So you can, yes, you can ask a question here.
Yeah,
So it's better also to have more context.
I, I think first of all, hi Carmen. Thanks for the presentation. It's very insightful. Uh, I think part of my question was already answered, but for the brands to conduct live shopping, do, do you have you seen that they typically go through agencies, or they would hire internally for someone to be a content creator just for the live shopping side?
So there's actually a little bit of both. Some companies they want to do everything in-house, and so they have somebody that can do the live streaming, and it can be depending on the company and the size and everything. They may have, as I mentioned, somebody that's a sales rep or something like that that goes on camera and they're selling. Or if it's a smaller company, maybe it's even the founder or CEO that does the live streamings. And then there are other companies that are just outsourcing the creators to do the live streaming. In terms of agencies, I work with both brands and with creators, and we train them on how to do live streaming. And so, if the brand wants us to help them find somebody, we can find somebody that can do the live streaming. If they want to be trained because they want to, in the long term, do everything themselves, we help them and train them so they can actually do everything in house. So it really depends on the brand and what what they want to achieve with live shopping in the future, and if it's something that they're thinking on implementing long term, or if it's something that they just want to test and try out.
Yeah, thanks.
I have just a question, maybe to Luis, to connect to your former experience, your previous experience, Luis. Pardon, Nicola. You at Global E, you guys did cross border, right? And so
Correct. It's a
uh,
cross border enabler. Yeah, company. Yeah.
yeah, and so did you have clients doing live commerce there at the time?
Not that I'm aware of, because Globally's business model is you have to. In most cases, most customers would not realize that there's Globally involved until you go to the checkout, and then at the bottom there's a disclaimer that you're buying from Globally as a merchant of record.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else is pretty much seamless. You land on the site, they text you where you're based, it changes the currency to their country, and then at the checkout, it calculates duties and taxes.
Perfect.
So it's because Globally is more behind the scenes, the B2B.
Interesting. Yeah, because we have a member in our community. He has a company that is it's doing what Global E is doing in a different way. Expand now. Actually, Carmen, maybe you should talk to him because he just partnered with TikTok. Um, so
Awesome.
and he's from Spain, but I think he's based in the UK. I'll connect you guys as well. Yeah. So they have a look afterwards. Expand now on LinkedIn. You will see that they've been pushing, um, a lot of webinars and so on. So it was more like that. All right, Nicola. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Uh,
Thank
do
you,
we have
Nicola. Yeah,
do we have
let's
more?
bring. Yeah, we have some questions here. Let me bring one question from Raquel. So, Carmen, to invest in live commerce, how much is the minimum investment? And yes, there is any type of ROI expected?
Um, this is a question that I get asked a lot, and there's no minimum investment. You can start going live just with a microphone and a ring light, just like that. But you need to have a strategy. You need to know what you're going to be doing. And then, depending on the brand, what is it that you want to show to your consumer? Like, what kind of brand are you? So it's going to depend a lot on that. If you want like super polished live streaming or not, it can move like from something super basic to something that's like super produced. So it really depends on the brand and yeah, what you want to show to the audience.
Okay, yes, and let me just have a following question to that. And that you say also from both sides, right? From I mean, for the creator side, that he also doesn't need anything besides a cell phone and a ring light, probably, or even don't even need a ring light, and for the brand side also, right? So it's basically both from creator side and from the company side. It's basically what what you want to show and what image you want to take to
To
your
project,
customer,
exactly.
or yeah, to project.
Yeah, so what you need to take into account, like it also depends on where you're doing your live streaming, right? If you're doing it on your own e-commerce website, maybe you want to have a more polished image, because then you can repurpose the content and you can use it as well on other places. If you're doing it on TikTok, it's usually faster content. You may not want to reuse that content later. So you need to think about those things as well. Then if you are a creator, most probably you're going to have that, like, what's super important is that you have good lighting, a nice background, and good sound. Those are like the main things, because that's how you're going to like capture attention, how people are going to be paying attention to, to what you do, to what you're selling, to what you're saying. So yeah, and of course you need to have really good internet connection, because you don't want it to be lagging, you don't want it to, like, the image to be pixels and stuff like that. But that's kind of the basic, and that applies for both creators and brands. This is what we said. What is it? What's what you want to project?
Hmm. Yes, and well, just to keep on that topic, uh, trying to dig in a bit more in terms of investment. So let's talk about TikTok shops. Is it possible? So a brand wants to make a live in TikTok shop, and they want to promote that. So they have it. It's possible for them to invest like in ads, so that that live is shown to more people. And how does that work? So in terms of investment.
So, like, the first thing is letting your audience know that you're going to be going live. And there are
Mhm.
different ways in which you can do that on TikTok. For example, you can kind of set up a calendar in which you say, I'll be going live next Tuesday at 3 p.m., for example. And then if you're creating content and that calendar is on your profile, users that go to your profile will see that, oh, this brand is going live. And they can actually sign up to be notified when your live is going to happen. So that's a really good way actually to, like, make sure that people know that this live is happening and that they're going to be notified. But then you can also create organic content saying that, hey, I'm going to be going live. And you want to create that content as well as much as possible, because when you share a video on TikTok, it's going to be reaching different audiences. So if you leave that information there, again, they can go back to your profile, they can sign up to the live streaming, and you're going to be bringing more audience. The same thing if you have an audience somewhere else, let them know that you're going to be going live. If you have other platforms, if you have an email list, you want people to know that something special is
Mhm.
going to happen. And you kind of want to be creating that habit, right, for the consumer to start going to your live streamings, to start connecting with you as a brand, to want to learn more about your products, to want to learn more about your offers, to want to learn more about your team or whatever that you are going to be doing on the live streaming. And then of course you can push your live with paid media. There are TikTok live ads that you can use
Mhm.
before you go on your live stream, as to bring more traffic to your live streamings.
Yeah, great.
We
And
have,
yes, so
yeah,
thank
there's
you.
more
And we
questions
have
here.
yeah, yeah. We have another question here from Raquel. So, how live commerce could work for a company like Raise, that is a SaaS platform, or it wouldn't work? So, yeah, Raise.
Uh, what does it do? Like,
Yeah.
I understand that your clients are other businesses. It's a B2B
Yeah,
business.
enterprise
Yeah,
clients typically,
yeah,
and
yeah. It's a
basically
B2B company.
they offer like messaging, like SMS messaging for you to reach directly your clients, emails. So I see live on top of what they offer, and you could be a good partner, but go ahead.
What I would say for B2B companies is, well, live commerce would be more like hosting a webinar that's live, and then you can just put your the link to
Mhm,
purchase whatever.
mhm,
I don't know if you have a subscription model or like how it works, but if you're
mhm,
doing a live streaming and you're talking about your service, you could show the button to purchase now the service that you're talking about, and you can let your clients know the different subscription models that you have.
mhm. Yeah, well, so I believe for these type of companies, B2B and companies like SaaS platforms and companies like that, I believe using creators to build that, and different type of creators. So at first, creators more connected to the B2B world. That's the first, and I think one strategy that could go is this person to create like a campaign or set up the account, and or set up what is what the platform does, right?
Yeah, but I would understand that more as a social commerce if it is
Yeah. Hmm.
creators, yeah, not as much live shopping, would be more social commerce. So you are working with creators, and they could be affiliates. They're sharing a link
Hmm.
to your product or service. That could be done.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think for B2B, the live commerce, the way it is, it was thought of for like e-commerce or more that stuff is not the ideal. You need to go like for the social commerce side, and it's more like that side.
Yeah, but for B2B, it can be helpful as well. For example, if there's something that you need to schedule a call or that you need the other person to do something, that would be helpful as well. As I said, you go on a live
Hmm.
setting, and then what is the action that you want the other person to take? Um, so, for example, I would say in the fashion industry, um, B2B would be, let's say, a factory that's selling to a distributor, and the distributor needs to decide on what are the products that they want to purchase, and then instead of the person
Hmm.
having to go to the factory and see the products, they can see them live, and then they can select the products that they want to purchase, for example. So that would be a use case for
Hmm.
B2B. um,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. And how do you see, just getting back to live shopping and TikTok shop. How do you see the other markets here in Europe evolving on that or developing on that? I saw that. I know that I'm in Germany, so I know that they have TikTok, have launched TikTok shop here in Germany, and made some noise, but I don't know how's live commerce and TikTok shop growth in the other regions of Europe,
So the thing is
compared
that
maybe with Spain.
yeah, no, we don't have data yet, It is the same thing with Spain. TikTok Shop has not yet shared any case studies or any specific data. We know what's going on because we're working on it, but
Yeah.
we don't have information from TikTok. So I'm not sure how other markets are doing. I know that they launched a couple months after Spain. We can also do cross-border e-commerce now. So if you, as a brand, are selling in Spain, you can sell to Italy, France, and Germany as well.
Mhm.
And so it is the same thing for all those other countries. If they're selling there, they can sell to these countries. I think there's a huge learning curve for everybody in every market. So we are still working on it. And I think it's pretty much the same for everybody at this stage.
Mhm. Yeah, great. And yeah, so I have just one last question from my side. And what do you see like the next developments in terms of live shopping as a whole? You can point into the direction that you want. So, but or TikTok Shop or live commerce softwares that you can do within your website, your e-commerce. But what do you think are the next developments of live commerce, or do you see any room for development in terms of either in terms of technology or in terms of business or whatever? So, what do you see are the next developments, or at least where do you see that needs more development for the live commerce industry, let's say?
Yeah, so there are different questions in there. I would say, well, let me just answer step by step. In terms of technology, we see that technology keeps evolving. We have technology that helps brands go live on their e-commerce website. We see software companies that help brands go live and help them make purchases on Instagram and Facebook, for example, through chatbots. Then I think all those companies are still going to continue evolving, but I'm almost sure that both Instagram, Facebook, YouTube are going to develop that live shopping and social commerce space as well. Actually, in the US, they're starting to like test with affiliates. So those things will come to Europe as well. That's in terms of socials. But then I also see marketplaces are starting to implement
Mm-hmm.
more live shopping, not only traditional marketplaces, because we see that AliExpress have been doing that for a long, long time. They started back in 2016. Then we know Amazon, they're doing Amazon Live in the US. Um, and they I think they signed a partnership with a software provider not long ago. Same thing with Ali Cloud. So I say that if big tech companies are investing in live shopping and social commerce, it is for a reason. They don't just do things because okay, let's see what's up with this. So there's an indicator there that this is something big. And I see as well the rise of live shopping marketplaces, which are marketplaces that in which there's live streamings happening all the time, where creators are selling products all the time, and where brands are selling products all the time. Like one example of this would be, for example, Whatnot. You may have heard of it, and even here in Spain, we have a couple of live shopping marketplaces like Geek Square, and then there is another one that's launching soon that will allow you to purchase books on live streaming. It's called D-Book. So, yeah, I see the rise of those marketplaces in the UK. There's one called Tilt. So, this is happening, this is developing. And then, one last thing I would say is the use of AI for live streamings. In China, this has happened already. I think it was about a couple weeks ago. There was a live streaming that was basically powered by AI, where there were two AI avatars that managed to make up to $7 million in sales in just one live streaming, and they were, as I mentioned, AI avatars. So I see that, well, we are very far from that at this stage because we're just getting started. I think this is something that's going to come, and that we need to keep our eyes open for those things that are coming.
All right. So that was
Great.
Carmen
Thank you.
Muley.
Thank you.
Thanks, Gustavo, also for helping me here. My connection was very unstable, but I managed at some point. We had a few bumps today. Carmen, if anyone wants to know about yourself, your agency, Paragon, what's the best way?
So you can guys find me on LinkedIn. My name is Carmen Muley. And then if you want to check our website and see what we do, you can go to paragonsocialcommerce.com, and there's information about us and what we do. And then also, of course, through the community, I am there. You can find me, and you can just message me on WhatsApp anytime.
Brilliant. All right. So thank you very much, Carmen. Thank you all. Like we had a good 11, at some point 12 people joining this year, and then LinkedIn as well. So that's very cool. That's a major topic. Carmen, muchas gracias. I'll see you there. See you now.
Obrigada.
De nada.
Bye bye.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.